if you look through the trees right here, you can see there's a gap and there's a start of another island. So that's Parker's Island. All right, so we have 2 stops left in our tour. We have this one, and we're just going to go up a little ways, not too far. But it's basically in that area between the gap is where the 43rd North Carolina made repeated assaults against the northern end of the Union line throughout that afternoon and evening of July 18th. It was during one of those assaults that this man right here, Lieutenant William Bevins of the 43rd, he was 24 years old at the time of the battle, was shot in the right leg. Now, after the battle was over, this guy right here, his friend and cousin, Captain Carey Whitaker, he was the other guy going around the battlefield with Lieutenant Polk. Polk found Murray. Whitaker was looking for Billy Bevins. So he found Billy Bevins, obviously in a lot of pain because he had suffered a very, very severe wound to his right leg. So Billy Bevins was taken to a field hospital, spends the night there, and then doctors look at the wound of his leg and realize the only thing that can be done is amputation. So oftentimes when I come out here or on other battlefield tours and I talk about soldiers being shot with mini balls, and I talk about the destructive nature of the mini ball against the bone, and the only thing you can do is amputate, I don't ever have a good visual. So I had an idea months ago. I thought you could buy anything on eBay, right? So I bought an antelope bone from a leg of an antelope. I shoot Civil War firearms competitively. So I thought, I'm going to take this bone out to the range and really see what can happen. So this is the result, just to give you a sense of what a mini ball does. So this is an antelope leg bone. I've taken a photograph showing the missing part of the joint and purposefully aimed at the joint. My son didn't think I could hit, but I did. So you could see, and I'll pass this around so you can take a look at it. If you receive a wound like that near the knee joint, which is where Billy Bevins was, there is nothing you can do other than amputation. So I'll pass this around and you can take a look at that. Now, Billy Bevins left us a great account of the moments before the battle and moments of his wounding and amputation. So this right here is a page from Billy Bevins' diary. And if you look really closely at this diary page, you can see here that the handwriting is all straight and nice and neat. That's what he is writing as a member of Robert Rhodes' division when they are encamped about 2.5, 3 miles from here at Wycliffe Church. Where the handwriting changes, where it becomes askew and darker and almost indecipherable, that's where he is writing after he was wounded. Actually writing about the pain he is in, his journey to Winchester, where doctors will tend to him at the York Hospital, and his amputation. One of the things he wrote about in this diary entry is that he received his amputation without any anesthesia. And look, there is this common misconception among people that, you know, Civil War soldiers bit the bullet. They never ever bit the bullet. All right, and when I teach this to my Civil War students at Shenandoah, I say, think about this. If you're in pain and agony and you bite down on a bullet and somebody starts sawing into your leg, your first impulse is going to be to what? Open up your mouth in pain. Well, you'll swallow the bullet and die. All right, so medicinal bullets, not a thing. If you were going to bite on anything, it would be a piece of cloth, rope, or leather. Anesthesia was used during the Civil War. We actually have inside of the lodge, where I'm assuming it's nice and cool, way cooler than it is right here, we have one of those forms, one of those instruments that would be used to administer anesthesia. It's called a Chisholm inhaler. And actually it's a rectangular box. You'd put chloroform in there, and there are 2 pipes, basically tubes that you would stick up the nose and inhale it. That would knock you out. You could also be anesthetized with basically what looks like it's like a funnel that would fit over your face, and you drop chloroform or diethyl ether in there, and that would anesthetize you. Billy Bevins was not that lucky to have anesthesia. Now, as Billy Bevins was going through his ordeal that evening, there was a sense of dread among Carey Whittaker that his cousin, his best friend, had been so severely wounded, but also there was a sense of jealousy. And you might think this is odd, and I know it's hot and humid, I'm not having a stroke. Billy Bevins' wound made Carey Whittaker jealous. Do any of you want to guess why? Because where does Billy Bevins now get to go home if he survives that wound? Gets to go home. And so by this point in the war, by the summer of 1864, Billy Bevins, Carey Whittaker, they had been involved in the conflict since right after Fort Sumter. They have been doing this for over 3 years. I don't care how committed you are to something like this. The agony, the pain, the tragedy, the physical pressure on your body, the sights you see, it wears on you. So he is jealous. He wants to go home. But Carey Whittaker can't go home. Billy Bevins, he thinks, is going to go home. But Billy Bevins will not make it home. July 31st, 1864, Billy Bevins passes away at the York Hospital in Winchester. He's buried in Stonewall Confederate Cemetery. Sadly, Carey Whittaker will also not make it home. He is severely wounded at Petersburg on April the 2nd. He dies 17 days later at a hospital in Danville, Virginia. So neither of those cousins, neither of those best friends make it home. Now, all throughout the day on July the 19th, there is occasional picket fire between both sides. There are occasional cannons shooting at each other, but there is no real engagement. Throughout the course of that day, Jubal Early, who is in Berryville, starts to receive information that a Union force of undetermined size, turns out to be about 4,500 men, commanded by Union General William Averell, is moving from Martinsburg, West Virginia, where I live, toward Winchester. So if you think about the proximity of the Union force commanded by Wright and where they're at here along the Shenandoah, you think about Early on the other side of the river, and you think about the location of Winchester. If Jubal Early stays put, he will be sandwiched between two Union forces. He doesn't want that to happen. So he gives orders late that evening that we're going to pull out late that night. And so about 11 o'clock on the night of July 19th, Early's men very quietly, they break off, they head towards Winchester, and then we'll turn, when they hit Winchester, turn south and head towards Strasburg and Fisher's Hill. On that morning of July the 20th, Horatio Wright has a sense, because he can see from the mountain to the other side, he has a sense that the Confederates have left or are in the process of leaving. But he doesn't want to just be careless and send the entire army across. So he's going to send word down to Colonel Montague to take those 3 companies, 2 companies from the 37th Massachusetts and 1 from the 2nd Rhode Island, and prepare them to cross. And so I'll take questions if you have them, and after that we're just going to move down this path a little bit, look at Montague's crossing, and bring an end to our tour. Yes?
Where was Early's headquarters in Berryville?
So Early's set up not in a specific structure, so it's more like a field headquarters tent type of situation. Anything else?